So in a previous video we compiled a list of the 10 non-human races of the world of Westeros and Essos. You know, the world of A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin, the one with Game of Thrones. And now continuing on this fantastical setting, here we will showcase the 15 gigantic or biggest creatures of this world, both real and mythical, but not including the boring real world species that also exist here. So let's begin. At the bottom we have the giant eye spiders. So the smallest here are these chilling creatures of legend, closely associated with the others or the White Walkers and the ancient horrors of the Long Night. Their existence is mentioned in the Northern Tales, particularly those by Old Nan, who describes the others riding these spiders that are as big as hounds, as they hunted the living during the darkness of the Long Night. These tales were intended to frighten children, yet within the grim reality of Westeros, old stories often carry hidden truths. They might actually be natural beasts twisted by the cold, or they might be creatures of living eyes, or even magical constructs akin to the mythical ice dragons. Next, at 14 we have the lizard lion. So these lizard lions are large semi-aquatic reptilian predators native to the bogs and the swamps of the Neck, particularly around Moat Cailin. Lizard lions are described as resembling particularly submerged logs, lurking silently in the murky waters until they strike. When on land, they are noted to have longer limbs than regular crocodiles. They have teeth like daggers, they are larger than lions, especially with their long tails, and they live in slow-moving waters, in deep swamps and dark marshes, making them expert ambush predators. It's possible that lizard lions are larger than regular crocodiles, much like direwolves are larger than common wolves. And speaking about direwolves, here we have them at number 13. These are an ancient and powerful species of wolf native to the north of Westeros. They are regarded by many in the south as creatures of myth. While rare even in the north, their existence is acknowledged and feared due to their immense size, intelligence, and ferocity. The direwolves are closely associated with House Stalk, whose sigil is the great direwolf's head. Fully grown, a direwolf can reach the size of a small horse, making them far larger and more dangerous than ordinary wolves. Anatomically, they are also simply not oversized wolves. They have larger heads with long, lean muzzles, proportionally longer legs, and massive bone-crushing teeth. And going over to number 12, here we have the Basilisks. These are fierce venomous reptiles found primarily in the jungles of Yiti and the Basilisk Isles of Sothoryos, from which the islands take their name. These creatures come in various sizes, with some growing to be twice as large as lions. They are described as hideous and aggressive, and the basilisks are feared for both their physical strength and their potent venom. They are sometimes captured and forced into brutal pit fights against small animals like dogs, where they can easily tear their opponents to pieces. Beyond their deadly bite and savage nature, basilisks are also infamous for their blood, which is used to create a deadly concoction known as basilisk venom. This substance is so potent that it drives any warm-blooded creature into a state of violent madness, and a drop of it would even force a mouse to challenge a lion. Number 11. The Giants of Westeros. These are a reclusive and ancient non-human race native to the frozen lands beyond the Wall. While they were considered to be mythical by most of the people in the Seven Kingdoms, they are in fact real and have lived in the far north and in Westeros for countless generations. Giants once shared Westeros with the children of the forest, and the two species are said to have clashed in ages past, and sometimes even living in harmony. Unlike the towering, vaguely humanoid beings depicted in the shows, the giants, described in the novels, have a more ape-like appearance, a primitive appearance closer to folklore creatures like the Yeti or Bigfoot. They are covered in shaggy furs, especially below the waist, and they wear no clothes. Though not as monstrously large as some legends suggest, they are still enormous, typically standing between 12 to 14 feet tall, about twice the height of a tall man. Then next we have the Mammoths. These are massive woolly pachyderms, native to the cold and unforgiving regions beyond the Wall in the far north of Westeros. They are related to elephants in form and function, but they are far larger and more robust, standing a little over 20 feet tall and nearly 20 feet long and about 15 feet wide. And they are covered in thick fur and equipped with enormous curved tusks that they use to brush away snow in search for vegetation or to defend themselves against threats. These beasts are so large and strong that they are often ridden by giants, sometimes even fitted with wooden towers or howdahs to carry additional warriors into battle, as seen during the wildling assault on the Wall. On the 9th spot we have the Jhogwin, which were also known as stone giants, and these were an ancient and colossal race, now extinct, and was said to have inhabited the northern reaches of a mountain range in northern Essos. These beings were said to be twice the size of the giants of Westeros, which places them easily over 20 to 25 feet tall, making them the largest humanoid race in the world. Once they ruled over the realm of Jhogwin, which is also their name, and that name is taken from the Dothraki language. However, even with their strength and size, they were still driven into extinction 1,000 years before the current era. But a little bit bigger than them are the giant apes of Sothoryos. These are a terrifying species native to the dense, untamed jungles of that southern continent, particularly in the regions south of the ruined city of Yin. These apes are described as being larger than even the largest giants, which suggests a size greater than 20 feet or even reaching 30 feet in size. Their immense strength is legendary, so great that they are said to be capable of killing elephants with a single blow. The description of these apes bear a strong resemblance to the legendary King Kong, suggesting that they might be inspired by the fictional Megaprimatus Kong species. Though not featured in the main narrative, these species are briefly mentioned to exist in Sothoryos. On the 7th spot we have the Wyverns. These are draconic creatures native to the wild continent of Sothoryos and are considered to be kinda like kins of dragons, though they notably lack the ability to breathe fire. With leathery wings, savage beaks, and an endless appetite, Wyverns are feared for their ferocity and aggression, which sometimes surpasses even dragons. Their presence is one of the few reasons why Sothoryos remains largely uninhabited, as these beasts rule the skies as apex predators. There are several varieties of these Wyverns. The smallest are the brown bellies, and the biggest are the swarm species, which are known to far exceed 30 feet in length and more so in wingspan. So Septon Barth, in his work Dragons, Worms and Wyverns, The Unnatural History, speculated that dragons may have been the product of Valyrian blood magic experiments on Wyverns. And also we have the Firewyrms, which are ancient fire-breathing, wingless serpentine creatures believed to dwell deep beneath the earth. Unlike dragons, they lack wings and cannot fly, but they share several key traits. They can breathe fire and grow to enormous sizes. Firewyrms are said to have existed in the volcanic regions of the Valyrian Peninsula, specifically within the fiery volcanic mountains known as the 14 Flames. Their young are described as being no bigger than a child's arm, but they do not stay small for long. Over time, they grow to immense proportions. While there is no definitive size listed for them, the devastation that they cause suggests that the old Firewyrms could reach colossal sizes. And yeah, the Valyrian blood magic experiments might also include the interbreeding of Firewyrms and Wyverns to create these dragons, which can both fly and breathe fire. Number 5. The Old Men of the River. These are enormous sacred turtles that dwell in the vast waters of the Rhine River, the largest river system in the known world, which is in Essos. These gigantic river turtles are revered by the Rhoynar people of Essos. Though rarely seen, one of these creatures did surface out during Tyrion Lannister's journey down the Rhine in the book A Dance with Dragons. As he passes the ruins of Nyrsar aboard the Shymate boat, the river turtle surfaces briefly beside the boat, and Tyrion notes that it was far bigger than the boat itself. This sighting alone suggests that these turtles may reach sizes exceeding adult elephants and may even be larger than them when the Rhoynish tales are considered, which describes them as kinda like small island-sized, making them some of the largest freshwater animals in the world. Now on the 4th spot we have the Kraken. So in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire, Krakens are these massive sea creatures, often described as similar to gigantic squids, but far larger and more powerful. Legends and sailor tales claim that they are capable of dragging entire whaling ships beneath the waves, suggesting an incredible strength and size. While no Kraken has ever been directly seen in the main narrative, sightings are reported across nearly every major water body, ranging from the northern to the southern Sunset Sea to the Summer Sea near dawn, and even the waters between the Stepstones and the Broken Arm. Krakens are especially significant in the culture and identity of the Ironborn, the seafaring people of the Iron Islands. So, though no exact size is ever confirmed, the fact that the Krakens are said to be able to destroy and pull asunder large ships implies that they could grow more than 100 feet or more in length, at the minimum. Number 3. Dragons. So dragons of this world are the most iconic and awe-inspiring creatures. Though they were extinct for a couple of centuries, dragons did return to the world when Daenerys Targaryen hatched 3 petrified dragon eggs in the fires of Khal Drogo's funeral pyre, ushering in a new age of fire and blood. Dragons are intelligent, predatory, and fiercely loyal to the ones they bond with, particularly the Targaryens and the Valyrians. Their design is similar to Wyverns. They are capable of flight and of breathing fire hot enough to melt stone, steel, and even destroy entire towns and cities. The size of dragons in A Song of Ice and Fire varies widely depending on age, care, and freedom of movement. The largest dragon ever to exist, or known to exist, was Balerion the Black Dread, the mount of Aegon the Conqueror. He could swallow a mammoth whole, and based on the descriptions as well as the appearances of them in the shows, dragons like Vhagar and Balerion could exceed 200 feet long and probably reaching over 300. On the second spot we have the Leviathan. So Leviathans are colossal whale-like creatures said to be the oldest and largest living creatures in the world. They are so immense that some are described as being the size of small islands. Typically grey in color, though sometimes also white or pale blue, they dwell in the vast treacherous seas and oceans beyond the known world, particularly in the Sunset Sea and the frigid Shivering Sea. These titanic beasts are revered as ancient creatures that surpass even dragons in scale. They are known to gather and breed in the Lorath Bay and the Leviathan Sound, and the Ibanies, who are a non-human race which was described in the previous video, are skilled whalers, and they construct their massive ships especially or specifically to withstand the fury of storms and these Leviathans. The sheer danger posed by these Leviathans is described by historical voyagers such as that of Alice Westhill in the year 56 AC, who deliberately avoided the northern Sunset Sea and its monstrous inhabitants, which means its Leviathans. And the biggest are the sea dragons. So sea dragons in A Song of Ice and Fire are elusive, probably just mythical creatures, and doesn't really exist but are tales told by old nans to young children. Anyway, they are said to dwell in the deepest reaches of the sea, particularly in the mysterious Sunset Sea, since that place is largely unexplored and left to the imagination. Though maesters often doubt their existence, legends, especially amongst the Ironborn, insist that they once swam the oceans and may still slumber beneath the waves. The most famous of these is called the Naga, which is described in Ironborn mythology as the first and mightiest sea dragon, so massive and powerful that she could devour Krakens and Leviathans whole, and even drown islands in her fury. And if the Naga can consume these gigantic creatures, that means it might be bigger than them, and probably the biggest creature in this world, whether real or mythical. That's up for you to decide. Now, as a notable mention, there's also the mythical ice dragons of the Shivering Sea, which are said to be even bigger than the Valyrian dragons, but like some of the creatures here, they might just be myths and bedtime stories. Or are they? Now we come to the end of this video. If you like this one, then watch this other one too, the one in the end screens. Also press the like button if you like this video, and consider subscribing for more content just like this one. But apparently subscribing doesn't really mean anything now. But there is one more option, that's called hyping the video. I don't know how this works, but if you can hype the video, well, that'll be awesome. Anyways, take care fam.